Snake Eyes is back, and this time he's bringing a massive 9-inch polar bear into the G.I. Joe Classified series. Whether you're a G.I. Joe fan excited for this deluxe set, or a Marvel Legends collector like me thinking outside the lines, I've got you covered. In this review, I dive into the premium articulation, all accessories, and I even kitbash Snake Eyes weapons with blast and smoke effects to see how they pop in dynamics displays. Size comparison with Marvel Legends, Jada Toys, Executive Replicas, and LooseCollector. We're checking if this polar bear works next to Wolverine or Hulk. Let's find out if this set deserves a spot in your multiverse collection. The G.I. Joe Classified 161 polar bear comes with two head sculpts, one wherein his mouth is open wide and the other which is slightly open. I assume he's a boy, right? I'm not sure. Anyway, Hasbro has been doing a great job when it comes to open mouth sculpts. The detail of the mouth is really good, similar to Sabu here. The only thing I wondered about this polar bear is how come it is not articulated jaw like Sabu? Because if Hasbro can do an articulated jaw, how come they did not do it for the polar bear? Instead, they gave this polar bear one head with an open mouth and the other with a slightly open mouth. It would have been nice if instead of the other head, there would be a head without scratches, a more clean looking head. The bloody scratch mark on his left eye and nose are sculpted on. There is a nice paint wash all over the fur of this polar bear. Notice there are some bright white kind of paint on his body. It is either implying that there is some snow on his body. Notice right here on his left leg, there is a gap and you can see the red right there already. This is the interchangeable skin. Just simply remove it and it would reveal bloody muscular detail. It's really good. And if you get the alternate skin, that one has some darts or arrow, probably. Not sure. Apologies. But yeah, it's all black. You cannot use it for the other arm of the polar bear. It's only specific to the left arm. That's a nice sculpted detail inside there. At the bottom, you can still see some paint wash, some dark washes of gray, and somehow like dirty brown in some areas. This is a nicely sculpted polar bear. I just noticed something different between him and Sabu. Sabu has an upper torso swivel. This polar bear did not have any upper torso swivel. In terms of size, he is larger compared to Sabu, which is a large saber-toothed tiger. But in terms of articulation, Sabu has more articulation, except for the paws, because this polar bear has articulated toes for his front limbs, not the back one. The back one does not have articulated toes. It is similar to Sabu. You have an ankle rocker right there. I'm just wondering, is it possible that Hasbro could have added an upper torso swivel for this polar bear to give him a better range of articulation? Because for Sabu, he can move it really well, that you can tilt it to one side, to another. Maybe the polar bear is not that really agile, so there was no need for Hasbro to add that articulation. Taking a closer look at the sculpted details underneath his feet, it's really good, painted black and sculpted on. One thing I noticed is there are some lines around his tummy, implying it's a separate piece. I was thinking it might be removable, but I don't think it can be removed. The product description does not say there is a battle damage part underneath this one, so I just won't try to do it because I might literally damage it. Before taking a look at Snake Eyes, Let's perform the articulation. His head can swivel here, and he has also a swivel around the neck. He can do a split not really well. A single jointed elbow can swivel hinge forward and back. Swivel right here, has toe articulation. He does not have a upper torso swivel. Cannot do a split on this one. Has a single jointed knee. Swivel, feet can hinge forward and back, and has an ankle rocker. Taking a closer look at Snake Eyes, although it is a simple head sculpt, there are some nicely sculpted details, and the standout is his snow goggles, which is somewhat metallic violet. His body seems to be an old Hasbro body mold because there is no upper torso swivel. It's just a ab crunch. It does have butterfly joints, but you can't fully maximize it. He has double jointed pinless elbows, nicely sculpted purple details. He has bright pink gloves, and both of his legs have holsters to attach his weapons, nicely sculpted textured details on his pants, nicely sculpted boots with shoelaces. There is a hidden upper thigh swivel on the boots. From the back, there is a peg hole where you can attach a backpack. The straps are a separate piece, a bit hard to remove. Probably need to disassemble Snake Eyes to remove that. Overall, this is a highly detailed purple plastic body. For accessories, he comes with a pair of pink weapon holding hands. Specifically for guns, these are trigger finger hands that can hinge up and down. It's just a bit hard to move it, probably because of the wristbands, the black wristbands, which kinda block the hinge. He also comes with a pair of flesh tone versions of those hands. The same way, these hands can hinge up and down. Snake Eyes comes with a pair of closed fist hands in pink color. These hands can hinge forward and back, just like a typical closed fist hands. This has better range of movement despite of the black wristbands. Bringing the grand total of hands to 8 is a pair of karate chopping hands. These hands can hinge forward and back. The first weapon that he comes with is a rifle. Nicely sculpted details that it looks like an actual rifle with some silver, shiny silver paint. There is a hole on the end of the rifle, which means later in the Kitbash we can connect some blast effects or some smoke effects. The next weapon that he comes with is a small gun, which has the same theme or design as the rifle with some silver painted details. It also has a hole where we can attach some effects. So far, Snake Eyes has 3 weapons. This is the third one, which is a knife, nicely painted silver, shiny silver detail. The next accessory is a MASS collection canister. The color of the painted details of the canister complements Snake Eyes. It has this bright pink line, vertical line there, shiny silver painted details. It's not articulated or there's no movable piece for this one, but you can use his fingers to hold on to it. The next accessory is a catalytic element crystal in a clear container. You can disassemble it, as you can see right here. This clear container can pop on back. The crystal has a bright reddish pink color which complements Snake Eyes. The final accessory is a bear trap. This is articulated so it can open and close. The teeth of the trap is just the right size for the foot of the bear. For a quick weapon kit bash, here is Snake Eyes using one of the Marvel Legends Hawkeye bow. If you found this review helpful so far, I hope you give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and share this with your friends. The blood effects I used in this review is from Slide Effects, link in the description below.
I'm Tuggernaut!
The $65 set of Snake Eyes and Polar Bear comes with a lot of accessories, but it is missing some fire effects. Hasbro adding holes give us a chance to use existing accessories for a Kitbash. This is a typical firepower effect that comes with several Hasbro Marvel Legends figures, like Phantom X. It is compatible with G.I. Joe classified weapons. After trying it out with the rifle, here is that effect piece on the small gun. Next up is some smoke effects, which also came with Phantom X from the Amazon exclusive 3-pack with Nimrod and Psylocke. Now, checking out whether the Polar Bear can scale okay with LooseCollector and Executive Replicas Red Sonja. Red Sonja bloody courtesy of Slide Effects. Red Sonja can almost sit on the bear. The problem is her metallic costume, which is not bendable, so she floats on top of the bear. Probably it's not best for her to sit on the bear. Just go and fight the bear. This is her trying to choke the bear out. In the comments below, let me know, does this 6-inch scale Executive Replicas and LooseCollector figures scale well with this polar bear? The polar bear would be a perfect obstacle for a Wolverine escaping the Weapon X complex. So this is what he looks like besides the polar bear. I think it works. Let me know in the comments below if you agree. One arch nemesis of Wolverine is Wendigo, and here he is toe-to-toe with the polar bear. Surprisingly, he is a good match in terms of size. Same can be said with the 80 years anniversary of Marvel Legends Hulk. Hulk is quite wide, but an extra large 7-inch scale Marvel Select Hulk is a mismatch for this bear. If you found this helpful, hope you give this review a like. Now let's take a look at how the G.I. Joe Classified Series 161 Snake Eyes and Polar Bear set scales with other popular figure lines. Snake Eyes stands at around 16 centimeters or about 6.2 inches, which is right to fit with other 1/12 scale figures. The Polar Bear on all fours measure approximately 11 centimeters or 4.3 inches. But when you pose it upright, it reaches about 24.5 centimeters or 9.6 inches tall, which really gives it a strong shelf presence. The reason why the polar bear stands tall is because from the tip of his nose to his behind, it measures 19.5 centimeters or 7.7 inches long. Size comparison with 6-inch scale Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series figures, Retro Lady J, Dreadnought Buzzer, which I reviewed in this channel, hope you check it out, and from the movie Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. 6-inch scale Hasbro Marvel Legends male body mold of different sizes using Spider-Man. It's the amazing hips Ultimate Miles Morales, slightly shorter Spider-Man from the Secret Wars wave, Maximum Series Spider-Man, and the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man. Hasbro Marvel Legends females of different shapes and sizes. Teenage X-23, The Rip X-Factor Jean Grey, Gamerverse Psylocke, and recently reviewed Retro Fantastic Four She-Hulk. Hope you check that one out. SDCC 2025 was so hyped because of the reveals of X-Men 97, so here are some size comparison with X-Men 97 Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, and Rogue. From the Savage Land, K-Zar, Savage Land Professor X, Weapon X, and Pac, one of the smallest Marvel Legends. Here is the polar bear besides the Build-A-Figure Sabu. LooseCollector and Halimo Sculptures Darna, and Red Sonja by LooseCollector and Executive Replicas. 6-inch scale Jada Toys Street Fighters, Ryu, Chun-Li, the shortest female Cammy White, and Sagat. For a 6-inch scale versus 7-inch scale size comparison, 6-inch scale Hasbro Marvel Legends Hulk versus the 7-inch scale Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Immortal Hulk or the Rampaging Hulk. For packaging, G.I. Joe Classified Series 161 Snake Eyes and Polar Bear comes in this rectangular box. There is a window, you can see the figure. On the side is art of the Polar Bear attacking Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is part of the MASS line. Here is the same art in blue. On the back is a product shot showing the Polar Bear attacking Snake Eyes. The accessories, bottom is a warning legalities barcode. On top is the G.I. Joe star logo. Unboxing the G.I. Joe Classified Series Mask, Snake Eyes, and Polar Bear. There is only one plastic tray containing the figure and the Polar Bear. The left rear feet and the trap is attached to the blue background, so you need to be careful in removing it. As usual, a clever arrangement of Hasbro inside the packaging. The head of Snake Eyes has a great range of articulation. It can move up, move down, and can tilt because of the neck articulation. His arms can extend that far, do a full 360. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows. Wrist can swivel, can hinge up and down for the trigger finger hand. He has a butterfly joint but not great range, can crunch forward, crunch back. He has a waist swivel right here, and he can also do a split really well. Upper thigh swivel, can kick back that far with double jointed pinless knees. Hidden upper thigh swivel in the boots. Feet can hinge forward and back and has an ankle rocker. And that wraps up my review of the G.I. Joe Classified Series 161 Snake Eyes and Polar Bear set. I'm glad to finally have a Snake Eyes in my collection. The sculpt and accessories are solid. He works well in dynamic poses. That said, I do wish Snake Eyes come with a more updated torso. This older body lacks an upper torso swivel, which really limits some movement, especially if you're used to newer G.I. Joe Classified Series figures or Marvel Legends articulation standards. It's not a deal breaker, but in future releases, I hope they discontinue using the old body molds. As for the Polar Bear, I was expecting it to be a bit larger, but that's just my personal preference. I tend to like my big characters oversized. Same reason I prefer Hulk and the Thing to look more massive than they technically should be. Still, at around 9.5 inches tall, standing up, the bear has great sculpted details, strong articulation, and even swappable parts, which makes it a fun piece for display or custom setups. So overall, Classified Series 161, Mask, Snake Eyes, and Polar Bear offers a solid value, even with a couple of articulation drawbacks which are just nitpicks for me. Whether you're into G.I. Joe, Marvel Legends, kit bashing, or just building a versatile action figure shelf, this set brings a lot to the table. Let me know in the comments below, are you picking this up for Snake Eyes, the bear, or for kit bashing with other toy lines? Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review useful. If you do, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I created a playlist of different action figures I reviewed in the channel. Hope you check it out. Happy kit bashing and have a good weekend.